Natural liberation is the true liberation. That is, you liberate yourself by your own self. You liberate yourself by your own clear understanding about the illusion and how you are caught. For these, there are 4 steps, according to me. First, self-initiation. In the East, they call it Diksha. Self-Diksha. Self-initiation. That is, it begins from you, not from the other person. It begins from your intolerance to even a small suffering. You don't want to accept suffering. You don't accept suffering. You question suffering. You are ready. You're clear that you have to come out of suffering. You're clear that you are going to be free from all suffering. You're ready to search for the cause of suffering. You don't accept even the common suffering that everybody accepts. The grief, the worry, the confusion, anxiety, fear, misery. You don't want to go where all these crowd are going. You are going to lead a different life. You want to find out whether you can be completely free from all suffering. And you have the spirit that you do or you die. Either you live without suffering or you don't live. You are damn clear. When you are damn clear that you don't accept suffering and you find out the cause, and this is the self-initiation. The true initiation is self-initiation. The authentic initiation is self-initiation. Unless you have this self-initiation, you never go to the very end of this inquiry, this search. The fire begins within you. The initiation is the fire within you. Initiation is the spirit within you. The do or die spirit within you. But this fire is not just a wildfire. It has patience. You need to have patience and you need to have intelligence, right? That is the next step. The next step is self-inquiry. You are going to inquire, discover, and you are going to find out what is the cause of suffering. Why do I suffer? Why does everybody suffer? What is the problem? You are not dependent on any books that you have discovered it is useless. You are not dependent on any master. You have understood the limitation of any teacher and books and teachings. You are done with all that. You have understood they cannot liberate you. They are going to be one more attachment and one more limitation and bondage to you. Their teachings is not your discovery. You have understood that. So you are finding out. You have gathered all your energy from your being and you want to find out what is the cause of suffering. You are not dependent on any meditation method also. You have understood the limitation of that too. But you know vaguely, mind is the cause. Thoughts are the cause. And you have made all the attempts, many attempts to eliminate mind through meditation methods, through dedicating yourself to some master, their teachings, mantras. You have tried all that. You know all that is useless. Because you are using mind for all that. That becomes one more object in the mind. Teaching becomes one more memory addition in the mind. Master becomes one more attachment in the mind. Master becomes the mind. Method becomes another effort in the mind. Teaching becomes another part of memory in the mind. So everything becomes mind. So you are adding mind. Now you are clear. The path is to negate the mind. You are absolutely clear that mind is the cause of suffering. Thoughts are the cause of suffering. You are clear, you have to completely end the mind. That you just sit, but there is no mind. If thoughts don't run, you're just sitting and you don't have thoughts, don't have mind, and there cannot be suffering. There cannot be restlessness. There cannot be fear, misery, because everything is thought. Everything has to come in the form of thought. If thought doesn't come, nothing can come. So you are clear. This is self-inquiry. That is to find out the cause of suffering. Now you have found out the cause of suffering, but how to remove that cause? The way to remove the cause. You will discover that too. That is self-teaching. Now you are going to discover how to remove the mind. For this, you enquire, what is mind? How is it running? Why is it running? What makes it running? What are the contents in the mind? What creates the mind? What is the foundation of the mind? In what forms thought is running? Why are thoughts running? What is it giving fuel? What is feeding thoughts? What is perpetuating thought? There should be some cause. Why is it running? There should be some secret. There should be some foundation on which it is standing. Am I feeding the thought? Am I feeding the mind? Are my interests the feed? Is my search the feed? Yes. When you discover, you find out why is it running. When you are clear, why is it running? That is the teaching, self-teaching. You discover why is it running. Because when you clearly understand why is it running, that understanding removes the chances, removes the possibilities for it to run. You understand your search is the cause. Your search makes the mind run. To kill the mind, you have created so many objects in the mind to kill the mind. You have created so many masters in the mind to kill the mind. You have created so many methods in the mind to kill the mind. You have created so many books in the mind, so much knowledge to kill the mind. Now all these objects that you have created to kill the mind is running the mind. Those masters are sitting inside the brain and they are operating you. The information you have gathered in the books, they sit in the mind, they sit in the brain, and it is operating the brain. Every single object you have created in the name of spirituality to kill the mind has become the producer of thoughts. When you left every worldly thing, now you are seeking very sincerely liberation from mind. You have left all the worldly things because they don't attract you now. So now thought cannot perpetuate itself in the form of the worldly thing. If it comes in the form of a movie, you don't bother. If it comes in the form of an actor, you don't bother. You won't think about that actor. But now thought is giving an evolved attraction for you. Now you want to kill the mind, no? So thought is saying, now you want to kill it. Now he wants to kill the mind. Now we have to go in the form of a very pure divine substance. If we want to survive, thought is feeling, if we want to survive, we have to take an avatar in the form of a divine substance. Only then he will believe it and he will keep it in the mind and he will think about it. We have to go in the form of Mr. X, so that to kill the mind he will keep this Mr. X, Mr. Y, Mr. Z. And we have to go in the form of a teachings, so that he will keep it in the mind and he will survive us. He will keep help us survive. He will believe. It comes in the form of a radical teaching, rational teaching. All teaching is cheating. For you, that is how it gets reached. Whatever you believe grows thought. Whatever you keep in the mind as something great grows only thought. It's a block. There is no freedom. If you think he is a great sage, he has completely killed the mind, and he sits in the brain and he operates you. I don't mean he comes and operates, but whatever you keep in the mind, it operates you in the form of thought, because you cannot keep anything anything inside except in the form of thought. Nothing can be there. He operates you. He brings you to that place, whether it is Tamil Nadu or North India, whichever place, Himalaya, any place, Tiruvannamalai. That person sits and in the form of thought, because whatever you have, it can be had only in the form of thought. And you keep going. Some technique that perpetuates the thought. Continuously, you keep doing that. Wherever you have a hope, that hope survives thought. So when you understand that something from outside is in the brain and it operates you, you, the seeker of freedom, have to completely wipe out everything from the brain, everything from outside. Either an actor or a great sage, you think, or any teaching, all influences and interferences from outside should be wiped out. That is freedom. refuse to be operated by anything from outside. Absolutely no directions for the thought to function. If you give some feed for the thought, it gets a point B. You see, when it gets to and it gets a point B to run direction, it's very happy. You create a hope, you create a goal, you create a way, method. You give a meditation method, it's very happy. Okay, wow, he has given a meditation method. Now we can do it. Who is going to do it? Thought. To kill thought, you are using thought. It is so silly. You keep on doing. Thought is happy. So complete freedom is having nothing in the mind, having nobody in the mind. Everything is just thought. It cannot be anything else. Everything is only thought. Everybody is only thought. Programming. Every sage is becoming a program in your brain. Every teaching of any person, any master is becoming a programming. Please watch it. Something is operating you, a family, a spirituality, a master, teaching, meditation method, mantra, all these. Feel that your brain had nothing when it was born. Slowly, from something from outside starts operating you like a software, the brain being a hardware. Everything started operating your brain like a software or a virus. Slowly, misery came up. Then you go to spirituality, again the same thing is happening. Please watch it. Something from outside is operating the brain. You are being programmed, you are being operated. To be free from all these programs, including all the spiritual things that you're doing, to be free from all these programs is liberation. To be completely free from all programs, all operations from outside. Nothing holy exists here. Everything is taught. There is no holy river, no holy book, no holy man. Nothing holy. You are giving a status just by thought. Holiness is just a thought. Nothing great. Thought is saying it is great. So it is thought. Greatness is thought. Everything is just thought. So throw. If you want to be free, throw. If you don't want to be free, keep everything. Who cares? When you have the fire that you don't accept any suffering, then when you have the intelligence to find out what is the cause, then you find out the way how to remove. You find out what is happening to you, how thought is surviving itself, and you cut off all the possibilities for it to survive. When you learn to do that, it is self-teaching. when you completely cut down all the branches and all the roots for the thought to survive, then you see when you have cut down all the possibilities, when you cut down all the point B's for the thought to survive, then you stand just alone. I is just alone. There is nothing. Thought has no feed. It is hungry because spirituality has also gone. It is just hungry, empty. It's full of appetite, but you're not feeding it. You're not giving any chance for it to run because spirituality has gone. Now you're not searching anything. Enlightenment was a very good food for you, food for the thought. But this now enlightenment also you're not searching. It cannot use enlightenment to survive. It cannot use liberation to survive. It cannot use any sage to survive. It cannot use any teaching. It is full of hunger, empty. It has nothing. It has no tool. It has no direction. You're not giving any goal. You are not saying, I'm going to attain liberation. If you say that, it's very happy because it can run. You're not saying, I'm going to attain an ageless body. If you say that, it's very happy. You're not saying that I'm going to attain nirvikalpa samadhi, savikalpa samadhi. You're not saying any that. You're not giving any direction. If you say that, it's very happy. You're not saying, I'm going to dedicate myself to this master, surrender to that. You're not saying. Now thought. You have understood all the ways it is cheating. Now the thought is hungry, hungry, hungry. It's empty. There's nothing. This empty. This is just I. There is nothing. There is no object. Only subject is there. There is no object. You have untrapped all the ways. Untrapped. It was trapping in a different, various, rational, innovative ways. It was trapping, and you have untrapped everything. You had functioned as an untrapper. You had functioned as a deprogrammer. Let's come to I. I have functioned as a deprogrammer. I have removed all the thoughts, all the objects now, all the possibilities. Now I am just empty, nothing. Nothing is there. Now there is nothing to untrap for me. I exist without any activity, without any direction. I am emptiness. Now I'm thinking maybe I can attain the truth. Maybe I'm prepared for that. How will I attain the truth now? Who is going to attain? Again, what can I use to attain the truth? Attain the freedom? Again, liberation for, I have to use thought. I cannot attain anything. I cannot do anything now. Because whatever I do, I have to use only thought. I perpetuate thought, whatever I do. I cannot do anything. There is nothing to be done. I have undone everything. There is nothing to be done. I realize there is nothing to be done and nothing can be done. All directions for me to go disappeared. I thought I could attain liberation this way, that way, this path, that path. All paths and ways have dissolved. All hopes have disappeared. I was only cheating myself through ways, paths, and directions and masters. All hopes have disappeared. I realize nothing can be done. Whatever I do is thoughts, helping thoughts survival, helping survival of mind. Whatever I want to kill is surviving itself through my actions to kill itself. Nothing can be done. There is nothing to be done. You just sit. All efforts have disappeared. All hopes have disappeared. All the activities of mind have disappeared. All objects have disappeared. I cannot be alone. I cannot survive alone. So the subject, the I also disappear. I disappears. I disappeared. I am the cause of all suffering. I is the cause of all suffering. The deprogrammed, the deprogrammer, both are just thought. The enquired, the enquirer, both are just thoughts. The liberated, the liberator, both are just thoughts. Everything disappears and I disappears. There is nothing. The world disappears when the mind disappears. When I disappears, world doesn't exist. The cause of suffering, the mind, disappears. The duality disappears. Now there is no more I and world. The thinking, the thoughts, imagination disappears when this mischief of duality is understood. Mind cannot afford to remain. When this bond of duality is understood and broken, mind cannot afford to remain. The cause is removed. The duality is the cause. The mind is the cause. The individuality is the cause. Now, you are not limited to the body. That doesn't mean you can say that I'm everywhere or I'm everything. You cannot afford to say anything positive, but you are not in the body. The body has only life force. When you disappear, you are not there. I doesn't exist. Only life energy and the body exist. I exists only as the tool to think and communicate whenever needed. I is just a thought. This you have clearly understood. This is self-liberation. Complete removal of the cause of suffering. Now what remains is body and life force. I doesn't exist. Mind doesn't exist. Thought doesn't exist. World doesn't exist. There is nothing. All this exists whenever required. Only whenever required. There is nothing to be seen, because whatever is seen is only seen in the mind and by the mind. Now there is nothing to be heard, because whatever is heard is only heard in the mind and by the mind. There is nothing to be done, because whatever is being done is done by thought, and there is no need to do anything, because you have nothing to achieve. And there is nobody to do it. You know you are just an illusion. I is an illusion. I is a thought. So there is nothing to be done. There is nothing to be done. There is nothing to think. What more freedom you want? And this is freedom. Nothing exists, nothing to be done, and nothing to think about. It is death before the body dies. You have died. I have died before the life energy leaves the body. There is nothing to die anymore. There is nobody to die. Are you ready to die? Then take up self-liberation. Then take up self-initiation, self-enquiry, self-teach, self-liberate yourself. If you are ready to die, if you are done with the world, if you are done with spirituality, you neither want world nor want spirituality. You are ready to destroy your own world. You are ready to destroy your own mind. Liberation is death. Death of I, death of mind. If you have the fire, if you have the patience, if you have the intelligence, if you have the spirit, do or die, take it up. It is in your hands. It is not in the hands of grace. There is no grace. It is in your own hands. Take it up and live